PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus one draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.
It's Wednesday morning. It's 10 a.m.
We're super serious today.
This is going to be a great show. I'm Mike Jameson. This is PBKC Picks, live from Palm Beach Kennel Club. Ernest, Christian.
Hi.
Noah Carbone.
Hi.
Hi.
On the phone, we have the president of PBKC, Mr. Pat Rooney. How are we doing today, Pat?
What's up, Mike? Good to talk to you guys.
You too. We got a lot of great subjects to talk about. We can't wait to talk about that. The first thing we're going to talk about is Feast in Football. I was lucky enough to be here on Sunday for the card show. That was a absolute feast I saw in the Paddock restaurant, and there was quite a few people over there enjoying the Feast in Football buffet. It's every Sunday now through January 4th. The buffet is free with $25 or more bet placed day of at PBKC with the Hard Rock Bet app. You do not want to miss Feast and Football. We'll talk about that, and I'll tell you the menu a little bit later in the show. But now let's get to talking about our CBS Pick'em pool. We got a big win last week from Artigas Cruz. I'm probably butchering his name.
Yeah, you sure are.
Good job.
12 wins on the week. That was a tough week, too. There's one person from our show family, Patrick Sullivan, the hands of PBKC. Yeah. He is doing very well. He actually finished, third this week. He's the guy who always picks the opposite.
How did Josh Alderman beat all of us in this panel?
Josh Alderman? He actually put in picks?
Wow, yes.
That's amazing.
How's that possible?
Weird. That's really weird. But
sorry,
congrats,
Josh. I had to say that.
Congrats to Artigas, who I'm going to be contacting after the show. You won one free buffet for Feast and Football, and your name is also in the hat now for the big poker thing.
Save up days before and then come in and really hammer it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I showed on the live video the food last week. Okay. It was unbelievable. But now let's get to some NFL news.
All right, let's get it over with.
Okay, now let's talk about the other one first and then yours. Yeah. So the Falcons defeated the Buffalo Bills 24-14 on Monday night. Now, Sully's Patriots have overtaken the Bills for the lead in the AFC East. How did we feel about that game, Pat?
Yeah, I didn't see much of the game, but it just goes to show you guys. I mean, I sound like a broken record. I've been saying this really since week one, but any team in the NFL can beat any other team. And I'm including Tennessee and New Orleans in that equation. The Falcons have just been one of these Jekyll and Hyde teams. They go up to Minnesota and win big there, and then they lose a couple other games they shouldn't have lost, and then they beat Buffalo. First time they've been on Monday Night Football, I think, in 8 or 9 years at home. I'm almost at a loss for words to explain or try to explain what this league is in terms of looking for trends or looking for teams that we think are really good and they're getting beat, and Josh Allen looked terrible. I don't know how to explain it. Just like you were talking about Sully, picking the opposite. You're almost better off doing that until these teams sort of, get sort of in the back half of this year when the teams that are trying to get into the playoffs take this a little more seriously or something. But otherwise, I think a lot of these teams just treat these games almost like they're extended preseason games, and they're like, yeah, if we lose, we lose. But there is no way that Buffalo should have lost that game, let alone by 10 points. There's just no way they should lose that game. They're much more talented than Atlanta is. But again, we say that every week about some team beating another team that they shouldn't beat. So I can't say I'm surprised because, again, that's the way that the NFL seems to be going. Not just this year. This has been a trend over the last decade with them. That's what they want. The NFL wants parity, and they truly have it because I don't think there are any dominant teams. There's 10 teams right now that you could tell me, oh, this team's going to go on and win the Super Bowl, and any of those 10 teams I wouldn't be shocked about. Or there's probably 5 or 6 teams that you're going, hey, this team's only going to win 2 games, the rest of the year. That wouldn't shock me either. So I don't know, to answer your question, Mike, really what to make of it. I think Buffalo is still going to make the playoffs and make a run to the Super Bowl, but they just shouldn't have lost that game.
So I was having the same train of thought as you. I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Like, are these teams really good? Are some teams really bad? Is everybody mediocre? So I started digging deep into the stats, like really deep. Got in there,
man.
ChatGPT, like really hunkering down. Strength of victory. So when you talk about strength of victory, the teams you've beaten, who has beaten who and who? Okay, right now the Eagles lead in strength of victory. As bad as they lost the last 2 games, 0.604. Okay, so the average 0.06. 04 of the teams they beat. The Bills, 0.125. So when you go back and look at the teams the Bills beat and who they are able to overcome, it's at 0.125. And it starts to get a little surprising. You look at the Steelers, they're at 0.348. The Chiefs, 0.387. The Falcons are at 0.588. Pulling off these victories. That does carry weight because I went a little further in my stats search.
Okay.
The Super Bowl winners, okay? The Eagles won last year. They had a 0.446. Before that was the Chiefs, 0.451, the Rams at 0.409. That all matters. So if you want to find out how good a team is, let's look at not strength of schedule, but who have you actually beaten, and even forget how that victory looks. Forget all that stuff. Just see who you're beating, and then you can get a better idea. So I think you're going to start seeing that trend a little bit more of teams who aren't beating any teams, and we kind of know that in the back of our minds, but we never put it in the front. That should actually be a stat on the stat line of wins and losses.
Yep.
It should be strength of victories.
Which is why I've been saying for weeks now with Buffalo.
Have you?
I hate to say it. They're overrated. Who have they beaten? Your
did say that.
Your following victories so far are who? The Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay, granted with Lamar, but the
Yeah.
Ravens 1-5.
Yeah.
The Saints.
Yeah.
The Dolphins and the Jets.
One win.
Those are your 4 wins.
And 0 wins.
Yeah.
So think about that. It matters.
And if you listen to me last
it
week,
does.
I said on the show last week that you should not be surprised at this game. I said the Falcons was a high probably win this game because off a bye, also on top of that. And Buffalo is one of those teams that it's hard to figure out right now. So they are way too Josh Allen reliant. And look, are they the favorites to win the AFC still? Maybe, but that line now is like this. It's marginally thin. Right now, Indy, I think, is better than them right now. I think the case that KC is still better than them right now. The AFC is wacky right now. So look out for this. This is going to be a great to finish.
You said it.
It's just insane
Exactly,
right now.
exactly what he said. Also, it's something that I don't think Noah wants us to bring up, but
Okay.
on Thursday night, the Eagles got scatterbooed by the Giants.
Who?
They got scatterbooed.
Is that
Wow,
legal?
that's really cool,
That's a
actually.
word
Can you
now.
I missed that.
legally say
Whether
that
I
on
made
here?
that up
Like,
but that was. I checked on Noah the next day. I actually texted him.
I want to hear past thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to check on me after that. I don't
Yeah.
understand
I don't do that. I know
Hey,
better.
Noah, how are you? How
I know
you doing?
better
Are you
than
still
that. I
alive?
know better. I know
Like,
better.
yeah.
I know you
Do
22
they
years. I know
generally
better.
care? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Also, the Eagles' Zadarius Smith has retired too, so that's probably not a good sign either. Which team are we more worried about between the Bills and the Eagles, Pat?
I still worry more about the Bills just because if you're talking about a team that has the potential to win the Super Bowl, the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. So until they're officially out of the playoffs,
This guy.
I'm not worried about them at all. You're going to have games like this. I'd love to see a stat, Noah, of division games on Thursday night playing on the road. I'd love to see what that stat is.
I could get that.
Of division games on the road on Thursday night.
That guy.
And that will lend itself to my Steelers pick that's going to be coming up here. But
Teaser.
I'm not worried about the Eagles. Yeah, they got some offensive issues right now, but they were 2-2 last year. They're 4-2 or whatever they are this year. They haven't even gotten to the meat of their schedule yet. They'll figure it out. They'll get things rolling here at some point. They're just too talented, and they know that they're good. And they're better than anybody in that division. The Giants just had, again, one of those nights, a Thursday night at home, where I almost think that teams treat those Thursday night games, if they're on the road, hey, let's just get out of this and get out of it injury-free, and we're going to treat it like it's a bye week almost. and just get to the next game. NFL, if you ask the NFL players, they hate the Thursday night game. Hate it. They don't feel like they can get themselves back in shape quickly enough. They're still beat up from Sunday. They hate these games. So I just don't think they take them as believe this or not. I just don't think they take them as seriously as other games because it's just too soon, and they're trying to get out of it as quickly as they can without getting too banged up. So I'm not putting any credence in losing to the Giants. Giants aren't a great team, but like I said, they're good enough to beat somebody every week, just like Tennessee is or New Orleans is. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that. Now, if the Eagles lose this week or if they lose next week and get into a little bit of a rut of losing,
put in a straitjacket.
Yeah, you got to start rectifying that. But I have a lot of confidence in this team. Now Buffalo, we just talked about them a lot. They don't have a lot of great receivers. They got the good running back, but a lot of this is going to be on Josh Allen. I think he's good enough to take a team on his shoulders to the Super Bowl. But until he does it, they're going to have to prove it to me. So Buffalo is still the bigger question mark with me.
Yeah, I'm not worried about either team really. I mean, if you had to line these teams up against most of the teams in the league, honestly, you would have to say you would expect them each to win. You have the outlier. Kansas City can win any game. They just have that mystique about them, and even when they're down players and the whole thing, and on the road, it doesn't matter. They could win those games. I get it, but we have guys also. And look at what we're talking about here. We're talking about quarterbacks that win football games, and then they slip up a little bit and they lose a couple. So Jalen Hurts is a winner. Josh Allen's a winner. Patty Mahomes is a winner. And all these guys that consistently win. And I hate to say it now, now the guy in Tampa is starting to fall into that category of just finding ways to win.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't come through at the end, but they are better in the end of these games when it's on the line, the guys with the clutch factor, and these guys all have it, and sometimes it doesn't come through, but they have the clutch factor, and it will win these games. So all things equal, whether it be rosters or whatever, the clutch factor hammers it.
I'm less worried about the Eagles because I think their issues are fixable. Excuse me, but I'm getting 2023 vibes a little bit here again. Okay, and granted, we got this last year too when they started 2-2, Sirianni in the hot seat, and then they just won every game after that. Their issues are fixable. I think the problem there is A.J. Brown though. He's got to go. He's a distraction now. Because I didn't see any problems with the Eagles' offense last week. Jalen Hurts got protection, throw the ball, but he's so keen on getting the ball to A.J. Brown all day on Thursday. That's a problem. So it started with the rhythm of the offense. The Bills' issues are more so. Look, it's Super Bowl bust at this point for this team, just like the Ravens, same thing, and they're beating all the bad teams, but they can't beat the good teams, and that's a problem. So I'm less worried about the Eagles than the Bills.
Okay, we mentioned the Chiefs a little bit earlier. The Chiefs defeated the Detroit Lions 30-17. Is this a team in the Chiefs that a lot of people had kind of given up on early in the season? Is this a Super Bowl team possibly, Pat?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime you got Mahomes, who's won multiple Super Bowls, and he's still relatively young, you cannot count them out. Now, they're going to get Rashid Rice back, I think, this week. That was a big statement win, in my opinion, because Detroit's a good team, and Detroit had beaten them in Kansas City just a couple years ago. So that was not like a mystique game for Detroit where they have never won there, whatever those kind of feelings are. Going into a venue like Kansas City. Kansas City beat them pretty handily. So I just saw a stat. This is the best offense Kansas City has had since 2020 when they went 14-3 and won the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
So they've got the makings there. If their defense can crank it up a little bit to go on, one of those Kansas City type runs and take control of that division. I would not. They're just like the Eagles. I wouldn't count them out at all because they've been there, done that. They're not that much older than they were last year and got there. So yeah, I think that was a statement win for the Chiefs, and I would look for them to go on a little bit of a run right now and probably take control of that division.
Yeah, this is exactly as advertised before the season started. If you had to start talking about teams, we talk about the Eagles, we talk about the Bills, we talk about the Chiefs, the Lions. We're talking about the same team, so the recipe's there. They know how to do it. Like Pat said, they're going to be there. They're going to be there in the end, most likely, unless some critical meltdown happens, and those things happen too. But these are we knew this was going to play out exactly in this fashion. So I know they started out a little rough, and they lost to good teams. They lost to the Eagles, and but here they are. They're right on the cusp of getting back in the groove. The Chargers slipped up a couple games, but the Chiefs, they're still the Chiefs. That's it.
They're back. Remember 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, we sat here on this podcast sitting saying that they'll probably make a wild card, but the AFC West is the Chargers and even the Broncos. And look where we are now. Broncos are kind of fumbling and stumbling. They beat the Jets on Sunday, but was very not impressive. The Chargers are banged up now. They should have lost to Miami crying out loud on Sunday. The good teams find ways to win. And there is an argument right now that as we sit here going to Week 7, that the Chiefs right now are the favorites to win the AFC again.
Yeah, this isn't alarming for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting the way they started the season. I feel like, we never count out the Chiefs, but it obviously
as long as Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes be there, they have a chance.
Correct.
So you spoke about the Dolphins. Tua's post-game comments regarding leadership and attendance at player-only meetings have drawn criticism, leading to speculation around the locker room environment and the future of Coach Mike McDaniel. Pat, do you like when players speak out like that?
I mean, the short answer is no. I think you've got to keep stuff like that in-house and try and rectify it there. When players start speaking out like that, to me that means one of two things. They've either tried to talk about it in-house and it ain't working and the frustration level's getting there that they're now taking it outside of the house, or they're just dumb and they think that they're being cute or smart or something, and they're going to make a statement. Now, I don't think Tua is dumb. So what I'm assuming is that they've tried to deal with this internally, and it's gotten them nowhere, and now he feels like he needs to make a statement. Essentially, I think what he's saying is we got to get rid of Mike McDaniel. That's to me what that statement is basically saying. I'm surprised after last week. I know the Dolphins played tough in that game, but they lost. I thought McDaniel was going to be gone Monday after that loss. It didn't happen, but that team's just gone. There's nothing there. I give him credit for battling against the Chargers, but again, it's still a home loss. And there's no leadership there. That's what the national guys have been saying. That's what I'm sure the Miami people have been saying. But there's no leadership there. You had that Christian Wilkins or whoever the defensive lineman is that was patting the guy on the head or kissing him on the head or whatever that was.
Kiss away.
And just no repercussions for it. Just like, you can't. I mean, when you start having stuff like that happen, there is a devoid of leadership on your team. And that's just been playing out for the first, 4 or 5 games of this season. And there's nothing that's going to stop that. They're going to keep doing this unless there's a change. And I think they got to get rid of the coach at this point and see what happens after that. But, it's not that it bothers me. You can say whatever you want. But you have to look at why the guy is saying things in public that probably shouldn't be being said in public. And to me, that means, that the team needs to change. So.
Yeah, so I looked into stats for this. Okay, so Mike McDaniel, talk about leadership. Coaches that wear capris on the sideline. Aaron Glenn and Mike McDaniel are like 1-16 in their last 17 starts. This is a fact. I don't know. If you look at his post-game presser, his pants go just below the knee, but not down to his ankle. And he's like, listen, guys, we got to get this right. He can't even figure out if he wants shorts on or full-length pants on. And he's up there like trying to Pat, I'm going to wear capris to the next big meeting. And then,
you have nice legs?
Like, I'm going to try to convince everybody that I know what I'm talking about. It can't happen. And then when you combine that with Tua, he's speaking in tongues when he's up there. I don't even understand what he's saying. There is
it's concussions.
In a lot of teams, you see it where the quarterback could get the coach fired or the coach is in charge and he benches the quarterback. I don't even know who's giving out the orders over there. The inmates are running the asylum or what's going on, but there is not one figurehead on that whole entire team who anybody will listen to, and it's showing, and this has been coming for years. We've been saying it. Mike McDaniel's already up against it. He's not an imposing figure. You think of a coach and big whatever. He's not fighting his way out of a wet paper bag. He's not. So he has to find a way through his knowledge of the game or his people skills to get it done, and he absolutely – this might be one of the biggest coaching meltdowns I've ever seen in my life.
Remember I said last week about there are certain teams, no matter how you slice it, they're just stupid.
Okay.
We cannot add Miami to that box of stupid now. They're a dumb team. They're stupid. Like, how have they not fired this guy yet? It's beyond me. Or Chris Greer, for that matter. It's insane. Like, Tua is not wrong for what he said. He's wrong for saying it in a public form like that. That is ridiculous. And that's bad leadership, man. But it also gives you a little door, a little slice in the window of what's going on in that team, how bad things are. They're worse than we thought. So they got to go, man.
You're looking at NFL situations, and they are right there with. Plug your ears, Jake, with the Cleveland Browns or something like other.
Yes.
And they might even be past that point because there's no upside in Miami right now. They are a dumpster fire.
Right.
Okay, what we learned from this segment is never trust anybody in capris. And now we're going to move on.
You should wear capris when they work, though.
You should, definitely.
You hear your legs.
I'm going to do it now.
Hear your legs.
The Ravens are now 1-5. Can we finally admit, and this is more for Earnest, I'm going to let him answer last, though. Earnest keeps saying they still have a chance. Are the Ravens just out of it, Pat?
They're getting close, but I still believe if Lamar Jackson can come back and he's somewhat mobile, somewhat healthy at all, he is an absolute complete difference maker. He really is. He's one of the few people in the NFL that I would say it's a one person that really can make a complete difference in a team. If he can't come back, they're done. Or if he comes back and he's a shell of himself, they are done. But if he can come back, that team, despite all the injuries, and they've had a ton, and their defense is not nearly what it was last year or 2 years ago or whatever. I don't know what's happened with the defense there. But he is enough of a special player, especially during the regular season. We're not talking playoffs now. That team can go on an 8-2 run and get to 10-7 and make the playoffs. So I'm not counting them out unless Lamar Jackson is compromised to the point where he really can't play the way he needs to play for them to win. But they're getting close. They're getting close, Mike. You can't lose much more than another couple games, or you're definitely going to be done. So they need to get him back and get him back healthy and get him back quick, or they are going to be done.
Yeah, I put Lamar in a category of one of those quarterbacks who likes to play from ahead, whether it's in the division or you're winning games and you're on a roll. And Tua fell into this category, and I think Lamar's fallen into this category where whether it's in a game, when you're facing adversity, to be able to bounce back and be able to get over the hump and come back. This is going to be a true test of where he's at. Can he come back? And if he plays, can he carry this team? Because we're trying to paint a picture that Lamar Jackson is an MVP and he could carry teams, and that other teams like the Eagles have the best roster and so on and so forth. But as the Ravens get beat up, they're just losing game after game, and we're talking a free pass here. At some point, you have to see the receipts and see when the chips are down, can this guy get you out of a hole? Is there leadership there from him saying, hey, here we are, we could get this thing done? We're going to see a lot about it, and like, people cannot ignore the fact they're literally 1-5, and it's almost like excused. And a player's best ability is availability, and here it is. Right. Lamar's missing time again.
His absence is definitely shown why he's the best player, best quarterback in football, in my opinion. But I present to you the next 6 games here. First off, they got to bye this week.
Yep.
Okay, so
Lamar's they win that
timing. Good timing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Lamar's supposed to play the week after that.
Okay.
Here's the next 6 games for the Ravens, Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. That's
what do you
at worst 5-1.
Oh, I'll take
That's
anything
you
you can. You're absolutely dead wrong on that. There's teams. We just covered this with, with how teams surprising.
Now, the
upsets
caveat here is the defense. I'm more concerned about the defense, and if they're going to get healthy this bye week. Are they going to get guys back in the fold in time for this next run?
Right.
So Pat is right. The margin of error is thin. You have maybe 3 losses to play with at most, because now look, we saw a team do this last year, almost pulled it off last year. The Bengals did the same thing last year. They started 1-4, 1-5.
This thing's toast.
And they were literally a tiebreaker from to making the playoffs. Yes. So
stick a fork in
it. But the margin of error is going to work against them. But this next 6 games are going to really say a lot.
Okay. One of the teams that also started out 1-5 has made the decision to get rid of their coach. Titans fired Brian Callahan. Did they jump the gun on that, Pat?
No, I mean, I didn't think they were going to bring him back this year in the first place. So I think he got more than enough time. They wanted to see if he could have any kind of a mesh with Cam Ward, and it just didn't work out. But that's the whole thing, Mike. You got to have realistic expectations. What were the realistic expectations for the Titans this year? And I'm not talking about terms of wins and losses. I'm talking about like team development. Are they developing around the quarterback? Are the pieces there? Is the play calling starting to allow him to do some things that you saw him do at Miami? I don't know. I don't follow the Titans closely enough. That's what the ownership and leadership in that organization had to make an assessment of is are they progressing in some kind of a logistic fashion? If this team fired Callahan because of their record, that's incredibly stupid. Mm-hmm. There's nobody on this earth that thought that team was going to do anything than what they're doing. I mean, they had a miraculous win against Arizona last week, But aside from that, this team is probably a 2 or 3 win team. So the assessment needs to be, is Cam Ward progressing the way we thought he would progress? If the answer is no, all right, then you get rid of him. But if it's based on the record, that's absolutely insane to fire a guy, because your expectations should not have been anything more than 2 or 3 wins this year.
Yeah, I'm with you, Pat. I don't think this is that hard. Okay, so you're the general manager, you're the owner of the team, you have the head coach. You see how things are going. Each week, meet with the guy, bring him up. Where are we at? What are you thinking? How are we looking? What's your plan to get right? And if the plan works, stick with the plan if you're seeing progress or any form of advancement for the team. Yeah, like Pat said, for the record, forget the record. Are we showing signs of improvement and headed in the right direction? That's why the Miami decision should be absolutely clear-cut. That thing is on a downward spiral like I've never seen. And then you have teams like this who maybe they're starting to show signs. And are they competitive in games? Are they egregious errors in their gameplay where they're not coached correctly? Are they making mental mistakes on the field? The talent's one thing, but are you playing the game correctly? Is your game plan correct? And do you have a definition of what your team's going to be? Is it going to be, we're coming in, we're going to get Cam Ward right, it's going to take 2 to 3 years, coach, owner, you tell the owner, and we're going to get this ship righted? But yeah, don't base it. When you have one win, don't base anything on your win-loss record. Just look to the future and see if you're progressing.
I love you brought up the record, because that's very important here, because it's not about the record for me at all. I think what you saw here is that you saw a team regressing in these 2 years. They're not getting better. There's no sign of a life here. Like with the Saints, you could say, okay, they're 1-5, whatever, but you see things there. They're competitive every week. The Giants, yes, also too. We still have a team that hasn't won a game yet, right, this year, right? The Jets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
we do.
The Titans are worse than the Jets.
Right.
I can say with confidence that the Titans are still worse than the Jets, even though they have one win on the dock.
All right.
So they weren't getting better. And I think they probably saw things not just with that, but also in the locker room and this disconnect there. So I'm not a fan of coaches getting fired like this quickly, but there was no sign of life here in this team. So they did the right thing here.
Yeah, I'm going to run down the injury list right now for the NFL real quick. Puka is he's day-to-day right now.
Okay, that's good.
He's going to miss some time. He's going to miss Egbuka for the Buccaneers. He is definitely going to miss the next week or two. Garrett Wilson hyperextended his knee. He's going to miss a couple of weeks. Richardson hurt himself on the sideline.
Orbital.
Oh, wow.
That hurts.
Then CeeDee Lamb is trying to play this week. They don't think Brock Bowers is playing this week.
Did he play on Sunday against
Bowers?
Carolina?
No.
Okay, he didn't play.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Joku is expected to miss a lot of time. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a concussion. Calvin Ridley, a hamstring. That's what's going on with the injury report right now for the NFL. But let's get into the games.
Okay.
Let's move right into the games right now of each game of the NFL Week 7 that we're going to go over right now. Starting with the Thursday night game where Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh favored by 5.5.
Well, after I talked about last week, Mike Tomlin coming off the bye, 14-4, always says the team's kind of ready at home. Hadn't lost at home off the bye in almost 20 years. Haven't lost to Cleveland at home since 2003. So all the indicators were there for a win. It wasn't the most exciting game, but the Steelers got it done and won by 14 points. This is the opposite of that. Thursday night, Mike Tomlin 2-9 on Thursday nights. I think 0-8 in the division on the road. Hasn't won a road Thursday night game since 2016. The only competing stat against all that is the Steelers are 21-4 the last 25 games in Cincinnati. So that's a pretty big margin there. But again, I just don't think teams take these Thursday night games. I'm not going to say seriously, but they just don't. They don't have time to game plan. They want to treat this as like, let's just get out of this with the least amount of injuries possible because the guys are still banged up from Sunday. I mean, I hate predicting something like that the Steelers can lose to Cincinnati on the road, but they can lose to Cincinnati on the road. This isn't a mortgage game. This isn't a bet your mortgage game for one reason: Aaron Rodgers, and he is a difference maker for the Steelers. But I think this is going to be an extremely tough spot for them. 5.5 points. I would absolutely jump all over Cincinnati, with the exception of Aaron Rodgers. And if he can somehow get this team a win, and I don't care if it's 11-10, if they can win this game, that makes a big statement about Aaron Rodgers and what they can potentially do down the road for the rest of the season. But this is a classic Steeler loss. Normally, I would say bet your mortgage on this one. But because of Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to. I'd still take Cincinnati, though.
Yeah, Thursday nights, like Pat said, are weird. It's like when Mike's scheduled to go on vacation, like on a Friday. Like he just doesn't give his full effort. It's like, well, I'm on vacation.
I don't do that at all.
And where they're like, well, we got the weekend off. We get 3 days off. They're looking ahead. They're planning. Their wife's like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this, and they're planning ahead. And it's weird. It throws everything off. Throws the rhythm off. And like I'm hearing about coaches getting 2 hours of sleep on Sunday night preparing to film it. Like it throws things off. But again, both teams are doing it. I get all that part, but then when you get into coaching and the better coaches and everything, I'm a fan of the better coaches. I've seen it when they have time to prepare are going to out-prepare the other guys. When you see that in the Super Bowl and some other things where the top coaches really have time, that 2-week period, or a bye week going into next week, all those things matter. But for this one, this was supposed to be a marquee game. It's not. Burrow's out again, just like we always say, and Pittsburgh should handle this thing.
Yeah, I'm with Pat here. This is a quintessential trap game. This divisional game is a little bit scary, short week, the whole nine. And not for nothing, Joe Flacco, he looked decent against. Yeah, that's actually better than Frisky, to be honest. His ability to put the ball in the hands of the playmakers can go a long way. Having said that, what Pat says is true. Aaron Rodgers is the big wild card here, and I think they'll win the game. But if I'm betting man, bet the Bengals on points.
Sometimes good teams lose on Thursday nights, as we've seen in the past a couple of days ago. But I'm taking Pittsburgh for a big win here. I think our team, Pittsburgh, is going to win this one at Cincinnati on Thursday night. Let's move into the Sunday early game, 9:30 a.m. That is the Rams at Jacksonville. That's obviously in another country. The Rams are favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville here for one reason. They're used to playing overseas. They play a ton of games over there, and I actually think they're a good team. I think they rebound after last week losing, and I think the Rams are a little banged up. We talked about it, having to travel and all that kind of stuff. This actually should be a pretty good game. The NFL got lucky with this one because a lot of times these games are terrible, but I'm going to go with Jacksonville here just because it's a quote-unquote home game for them, and I think they're used to playing over there.
Yeah, something we forget is the distance travel for teams, and if you look at that, you start seeing trends on how far teams. So Los Angeles, where's this game at? Mike?
London.
Okay. So like, which way do they fly? East to get there, or do they fly west? Okay, so they fly east. Think about the length of that flight. We've 5
hours
over there.
Country.
It's brutal.
So 10 hours.
So when you look at their schedule and they're flying to Philly and then England and all these things, it just wears you down. It is a real thing. I'm going with Jacksonville on this one.
Yeah, for those reasons too. Also, and on top of that, Puka Nacua, is he going to play this game? He said
no.
He's not.
That's a problem. That's a massive problem there.
Big problem.
And the Jags,
Giant problem.
Yeah, obviously it's not a home game. It's a home game, but it actually is a home game because they're used to playing out here. Give me Jacksonville in this game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jacksonville. It's a home game every time they travel. I'm taking them in, what is it, London that we're playing?
Right.
Now we're moving on to New Orleans at Chicago. The Bears favored by 5.
All right, get your upset alert.
Uh-oh.
On, boys. This is it. Chicago, shocking win against Washington last week in Washington. A lot of people picked Washington. We thought Washington was coming back to the magic that they had last year, and then they lose the game. All right, now the Bears go home. They got all the momentum. New Orleans stinks, blah, blah, blah. This is the game right here where New Orleans is going to give them a game. I'm not going to say they're going to outright win it, but I would take New Orleans in the points. This is the NFL of 2025 where any team can win, and New Orleans will give them a game. So I'll take Chicago in the point, give them points.
Yeah, Chicago's not nearly in that category of consistent and putting proper product on the field each week. And when it does look bad, it looks bad. Now, New Orleans, they're trying to build something. They got the new coach in there, Super Bowl champ, and they're trying to build something and put pieces together, and he's trending in that direction. He's providing consistency and growth and some other things. So this is one of those games where, like, okay, we can beat this team. We are good enough to beat this team. Let's go in there and make a statement in Chicago, show that we are starting to arrive, and we're going to turn things around here in New Orleans.
Yeah, Pat, you're on the same wavelength here because I think the Saints are, they're a lot better than the record indicates, sir. Look, they're in games other than one loss to Seattle out west. They've been frisky this year. They've been in every game pretty much this year against some good teams too. Also, Chicago's it's a weird thing because they shouldn't have won that game on Monday. They had no business winning that game on Monday, but they did. So you want to buy into them, and it's like this is a game you really stay away from betting wise. I'll take Chicago to win, but I will not bet this game whatsoever. No.
Yep, taking Chicago for a win here. Now Miami at Cleveland. Cleveland favored by 3.
Boy, this is the worst game of the year, maybe.
Worse than Vegas and Tennessee?
That was a bad one, too, but this one's really bad. I think Cleveland's going to win this game because they're at home. Dylan Gabriel, if he can just get rid of the ball a tick sooner, wouldn't be that bad. So I'm hoping as he progresses here that he starts having a little bit more of a sense of urgency and getting rid of the ball, because the Cleveland defense is actually really good. But like everything, if they keep getting beat, they're going to eventually just give up. I don't think they're there yet. I think the Cleveland defense comes in big here, and Miami. I just now again, because this is a wacky NFL. It would shock me if Miami went in there and somehow won this game big. No, but I just think Cleveland at home and Miami in free fall. Cleveland's got to win this game, and I think they win it relatively easily.
Yeah, wow. Miami literally, if they lose this one, or when they lose this one up at Cleveland, they will fall behind Cleveland in trending. Like when you do the power rankings where they show up, down, out, Miami's going to be at the bottom, below Cleveland, have no definition of what they're trying to do. Cleveland has a couple things. They have a little defense. They have a backup quarterback who's trying to get in the mix and try to play. Like maybe that might work out or something, like Shador. Miami has absolutely nothing. They don't have draft equity. They don't have a good fan base. Like their stadium's not even in Miami. This thing is a dumpster fire. And Mike McDaniel, I don't know if we could get the bet in. Can we get this on a Hard Rock bet app of Mike McDaniel getting fired this week?
This is the week.
Can we get it?
I agree with you.
What if he comes out? What if Mike McDaniel comes out with pants on that are full length this week? What are you going to do?
That will absolutely help. Some kind of like a jeans or something long that goes all the way, maybe some Timbos, like Timberland boots or something to show a little bit of effort on what he's trying to do. But yeah, if he comes out in sports,
which is so
it's
funny,
not going to work.
Which is so funny because like the last 2 games, the Dolphins, they led Carolina big and chill on that game. Yeah. They led the Chargers late against the on Sunday. So it's a matter of inches at this point. But again, I think this team's broken now. This team is done. I think mentally they're gone.
Yeah, it's done.
And the Browns defense is still very competitive. I just think it's over. I think if this game gets out of reach, I think this is where, if we kept saying last couple weeks, when it get fired. Yeah, this could be the week it's fired.
This is the Browns.
This is the end of the Capris. I'm taking Cleveland at home. Now New England at Tennessee. New England favored by 7.
That's a big number. I like New England. I like what they're doing. I think Drake May is progressing nicely. Vrabel's got a good attitude. He's imparted a good attitude onto that team. I think they're buying into a lot what he wants to do. Tennessee going to have a new coach. You could bring Vince Lombardi back from the grave. It ain't going to matter there. I think New England wins this game, but the only thing that gives me any pause is that it's in Tennessee, and for whatever that's worth, there might be a little spunkiness there from Tennessee with the new coach. But I got to believe New England is the better team, and they figure out a way to win this game.
Yeah, when you talk like what stocks are you buying or selling? I'm buying New England. I didn't know if Vrabel could get it done up there, and they're starting to show the consistency that you're looking for and doing the right things. And they're supposed to beat Tennessee. So will this be if they lose to Tennessee, this will be a setback, and that's like,
absolutely.
Okay, are we doing what we're supposed to do to be competitive in the NFL? It would be a very big disappointment in New England. I'll take New England here.
Yeah, I'm taking New England.
Yeah, I think look, New England's win this game without a problem, but I want to see style points here, number one. Number two, a lot of times with these teams, they fire a coach, you get a little surge from that same team next week. So I like the Pats here, but you know what? Give me Tennessee the points here.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee big, New England big in this one on their road game. Las Vegas at Kansas City. Kansas City's favored by 11.5.
Yeah, I love Kansas City in this game. I don't know what happened with Vegas, Mike. We had high hopes for them beginning. They go up to New England and really stomp them in New England to start the year, and then there's been nothing since. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the game has passed Pete Carroll by, and Gino's reverting to being back on the bench for 3 years or something. But that team just doesn't have any life at this point. And Kansas City, I think, is beginning to the start of their role where they're going to win like 6 or 7 games in a row. I look for Kansas City to really put a stomping on them here, so I'm going to take Kansas City big.
Yeah, Kansas City's getting that mojo back when you start having that confidence and like, okay, we remember how to win Super Bowls and we remember that we're good at football. And once you start having that and you get a little bit of that moxie or whatever you want to call it, where you have this feeling that you can pull these things off, that starts to snowball. We see it with all these teams. And if they get rolling, there was one game where if they lost that game, it would change the whole texture a couple weeks ago where it would change the texture of the season. Now they beat Detroit, and they won that other game. And now you're like, okay, here they go. And you get them with momentum. They did it last year, winning all these games. It's a scary thing. I'm going with the Chiefs, and they're going to be a contender here.
Yeah, if the Chiefs were like 5-1, 4-2, I can see arguing for Raiders because they're just trying to get to the end. The Chiefs are. But the Chiefs now are in a point now where they're 0-2. They're trying to prove to everybody else that they're still here and belong. So I think they want to put out a statement here. So I think they'll stomp the rivals here. Give me the Chiefs to cover and cover big.
Yeah, one time a year when they face each other, the Raiders give them a game. They almost beat them last year when the Chiefs were just winning games by field goals. I think that the Chiefs win this, but I don't think they cover 11.5 points. So I'm taking the Raiders here. Now moving on, Philly at Minnesota. Philly goes in favored by 1.5.
Well, this is a tough game. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be back. Would have been really interesting for the Eagles to play Carson Wentz. Eagles can't lose 3 in a row. So this is a tough game because they got to go to Minnesota. I'm taking the Eagles based on the fact that I believe they're going to be the Super Bowl champs. And if they are going to be Super Bowl champs win a game like this, a game that's going to be a tough game on the road against a quality opponent. But the Eagles just can't lose 3 in a row, so I'm taking the Eagles here.
Yeah, so there's a trend going on with Minnesota and Philly where we just throttle them, whether it's an NFC Championship game a few years back or like just letting them have it. And we get ahead and we just run away with it. The key factor here, we just shut that thing down, and it turns into the Foles chant, all that stuff. Right. Quinyon Mitchell, I believe he's going to be healthy. He had a little bit of a hamstring issue, a little scary. He's going to mirror Justin Jefferson. And that's how that game's going to go. If you could keep him under control, this game's in the bag. Carter, he'll be back from, he missed last week, which was a surprise to me and would have, in my opinion, would have changed the game. So as he goes, so goes the defense. So I'm going to stick with my birds, and we're gonna go in Minnesota and try to get right here. Regardless
if it's McCarthy or it's Wentz or whoever it may be, it doesn't matter. I can't see a scenario where the Eagles are losing 3 games in a row. Yeah. They have their issues. The issues are fixable, as I said. But I just can't see a scenario where Jalen Hurts and the boys go lose 3 in a row. Give me the Eagles win big.
Yeah, I'm taking our birds here. Yeah. Now we're moving on to Carolina at the Jets. Carolina goes in favored by 1.5.
All right, here it is. The Jets aren't losing every game. I know there's been a lot of, you talk about, the Dolphins, but the Jets have been, there's been a lot of what's going on and who's to blame and blah, blah, blah. They're bad. Don't get me wrong. Justin Fields is not the answer, but they're not losing every game. And this is it. If they're going to win a game, they're going to beat Carolina at home. The fans are going to be booing and everything else, but I think the Jets figure something out with Breece Hall or somebody to do something in this game to be able to beat Carolina. Carolina's not bad. They're not a bad team. I don't think they're ready to start competing for anything. But this is where the Jets, I think, finally get off the schneid and win a game.
Yeah, my kid gave me the insight into this. I think it was last year or earlier. The Jets. You know what that stands for? Just end the season like that. Like Jets. That's where we're at with these guys. It's like, okay, like here we go again. You talk about misery as a fan in sports. Like the Jets are at the apex of this thing. It's just like, well, what do we like? We can't figure it out. You go and get Aaron Rodgers and try to do what Pittsburgh's doing over in Pittsburgh, and he makes 4 plays and then he's out for the season. Yeah. At some point, you got to figure out if Jimmy Hoffa's really buried there or whatever's going on because they are absolutely cursed.
Right.
I don't know how they find a win. I'm going with Carolina.
Dude, if Carolina wins this game, they're 4-3. You believe that? They'll be 4-3. Who would have thought that going in the middle of October? That's insane to me. Yeah. Having said that, they're not this good. I'm sorry. They're not this good. They're 3 on home, 0-3 on the road. The Jets are not going to lose every game, dude. I'm sorry. They're too talented. I think they'll look, they should have beaten Denver on Sunday, but that worst game I've ever seen in my life. Give me the Jets win this game, win the first one finally.
I don't think the Jets are going to lose every game, but they're not going to win this one. I'm taking Carolina.
Ooh, 4-3 Panthers.
Now Giants at Denver. Denver favored by 7.
All right. Well, you know how I love saying, well, watch out. Not this game. I think Denver gets over whatever malaise they had last week in London or wherever they were playing. Giants had their moment in the sun with the Eagles. I think they revert back to being the Giants, and I think Denver wins this one big.
Yeah, congratulations on your Super Bowl last Thursday, New York Giants. Like this, literally, my phone blows up and everybody's like literally. Can we have the same energy when the Eagles win the Super Bowl? Can we have that energy from my friends? You know who you are, all you people in Central Jersey and around the world.
Yeah,
like, it just
it is annoying though. I will say it is annoying.
They go in again, like Pat said. They go in. They're the Giants again. They already won the Super Bowl. Season's over. I'm glad you won your Super Bowl, Denver big.
I don't know, man. This is tough, man. I think Denver was the game, but I'll take the Giants to the points. Because Jackson Dart's such a big wild card. Like, the way he plays is kind of so chaotic to the point where, like, he can get hurt this game. He
gets laid out, goes into 10 with a concussion, and he comes right back out.
What I will say about this is just before a start, he has energized that team on both sides of the ball. And that goes a long way. Give me the Broncos win this game, but it might be a tight one, actually.
And
to be honest with you.
Scatterborough's a goofball. Like that's only that ploy's only.
You say so that maybe he's on your team, you love him. Stop it.
Okay. Oh, for sure.
No, I like Saquon.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver.
Both love Saquon.
Denver big at home. Now I'm going in Indianapolis at the Chargers. Indy goes in underdogs by 2.
Game of the week right here.
Really?
This is Chargers. Chargers have to start establishing themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody that can do something if they get into the postseason, and this is the game to do it. I think Indianapolis has been the story of the year, really probably them and Seattle, in terms of teams we just didn't think were that good, and all of a sudden are at the cream of the crop in their leagues. This has got to be the game where something goes wrong for Indy, and they just don't look really good. Daniel Jones has been playing way over his head, but I give this coaching staff there a lot of credit for getting this guy to look like the first rounder that everybody thought he was when he got drafted. But at some point, they've got to have a stinker of a game, and the Chargers have just been sort of, not themselves for the last like 3-4 weeks. I look for Herbert to have a big game here. And I don't really think this game's going to be super close. I could be wrong. It should be a good game, but I think the Chargers have to have one of their get-right games and against a quality opponent. I think this is it.
Yeah, when you talk about teams and their trajectory and quarterbacks in their trajectory, this game fits in that category. Okay, you take 3 steps forward and then take 2 steps back. This one, he needs to win this game. You have to. You're trying
absolutely.
to establish yourself.
That was a song too.
It was. You have to establish yourself as a contender, and these are the games. You're at home. Indy's rolling along. You're doing. You're up and down. You have to establish yourself as being able to win these games, and this is a big indicator right now. If I lose a stock dump in the dumpster, if Los Angeles loses this at home, I don't want to say I don't put must win on it, but for your trajectory as a quarterback and your team moving forward, this is a very big game, the game of the week. I'm going to take the Chargers, and then after that, if they lose this one, I'm not taking the rest of the season.
No. This is the must-win.
Okay.
Stop that. This is the
must-win every week.
I know I said weeks ago that I need to see an 8-game sample before I start buying this team as a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
But the AFC is so wide open right now that I may just go ahead and just leap in and put the Colts in that conversation now, because what we're seeing, what I saw from week 1 on, is that what they're doing, even without Daniel Jones, is sustainable. The running game is great. Defense is great. O-line is great. Everything's coming together. They are the best team right now in the AFC. And I think the Chargers are banged up, too, also on top of that. I just don't trust them right now. Give me Indy. I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony B. I'm taking Indy also. Now Washington at Dallas. Washington favored by 1.5.
I don't know where to go with this game. I mean, both these teams are really – we talk about the whole league being Jekyll and Hyde, but these teams embody it. Washington, finally has a good win 2 weeks ago, and then they lose that game at home to Chicago, which is almost inexcusable. And the Cowboys are just a schizophrenic. I mean, Dak Prescott, I give him a lot of credit, has been playing really well this year. I'm going to take the Cowboys at home, just figuring that Dak continues to play well and they get themselves to 3-3-1. But again, you could flip a coin on this one 50 times. And if you told me that Washington was going to win big, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm going to take Dallas just because they're at home.
Yeah, Dallas is putting up incredible offensive stats, like points, lighting up the scoreboard. Their defense stinks. They literally made a decision to let their best defensive player probably in the last 15 years go. Just let him go because you didn't want to pay him. And, what are you even trying to do? Dallas, I think they're going to win this one. but at the same time, it's not good football on either side of the
Speaking
ball.
of schizophrenic, did you see the over-under this game?
No.
55.5.
Yeah. I think Dallas might put that up on their own.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas because they're home. And but again, this is another stay-away game because this can go either way and it wouldn't surprise you.
I love that. This whole thing's a mess with both of those.
Yep,
I love
taking Dallas at home here. Green Bay at Arizona. Green Bay 6.5 favored.
Yeah, I would jump on Arizona if I knew that Kyler Murray was going to play. Again, Arizona's another schizophrenic team where, you know, they look good one week, they look terrible another week. They gave Indy a great game. I gave you guys that one, even with Bissett in there. You know, Arizona played really well, which means that this week they'll play like crap. So I'm gonna take Green Bay on the road. But Arizona should be better than this. They should be better than a schizophrenic team, but they're not. So I'm going to take Green Bay.
They're stupid, Pat. That's why they're a stupid team. They're in that box.
Talk about trying to be. You should be better than you are. Like Green Bay, everybody had it. Like oh, they could be number one in NFC and all these things, and they're just not performing to what they have. So yeah, maybe it's that second year. I know Love's been in the league like 7 years before he finally saw the field, but. You know, you're slipping up and you're not really consistent and you're not really playing good football and you're not oohing and on anybody. In the first couple of weeks, maybe a little bit. But, yeah, Green Bay's just not playing great. How about this? I don't know if Arizona with Kyler Murray is far off from Green Bay and we had them anointed to maybe make the NFC Championship game. If Kyler Murray goes, I'm taking Arizona at home.
We know Arizona is what it is. They're dumb. We know that. Green Bay, since week 2, has been the most disappointing team for me in the league. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've come back to earth a lot. Right. Off a bye this week in Cincinnati. Yes, they win the game, but they look sluggish. I was not impressed with that win. They are. I thought they were ready. They were ready to be a Super Bowl team. They're not there yet, man. I'll take Arizona on the points here just because they're at home. Even whether it's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett. Oh. Honestly, Green Bay wins the game, but Arizona on the points.
Jacoby Brissett.
I'm taking Green Bay big. Atlanta at San Francisco is the Sunday night game. San Fran favored by 2.
Yeah, I mean, I know people will probably jump on Atlanta. You know, they had a great win against Buffalo. They got some momentum, blah, blah, blah. This is my lock of the week if I didn't want to already do it with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I think San Fran wins this game because I just do not believe in Atlanta at all. And I think they're up and down and up and down. This will be their down week. Mac Jones goes off. The team, even with Fred Warner being out and all the injuries in San Fran, that's why everybody will be jumping on Atlanta. I'm taking San Fran in this one big.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta here just because of the stats that I pull with their strength of victory. They're winning some big games. I know this one's at the road. I know it's Sunday night at San Fran. It's a big game. It's a nationally televised game. You have a quarterback in there, a running back in there. Everybody wants to see light it up. That guy can do some damage by accident. Bijan, he scoots away and he's off to races for 82 yards. So I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one.
Too much schizophrenic. The Falcons beat Buffalo on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lost 3-0 against Carolina.
Yeah,
make sense. And look, Atlanta beats Buffalo this week, and then what? They'll come back, turn around, and lose to San Francisco probably on the road. I'll take San Francisco. You know why? Because I trust Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep, taking San Francisco at home. Now moving on to the 2 Monday night games. Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit favored by 5.
Tied or 2.
Oh, this might be the game of the week.
Bingo.
I like Tampa. I think Detroit that wasn't a good loss by them last week. I know it's Kansas City and they're going on the road and all that, but I really thought Detroit had some momentum going. And yeah, you can lose the game, but I didn't like the way they lost. I'm going to take Detroit at home here, even though Tampa gives them fits. And Baker he's the MVP in my book right now, hands down. He's the definition of gamer.
Breathe easy, buddy.
You are not out of the game with him, but I'm taking Detroit at home.
Yeah, so I do this thing where I actually look 2 games ahead. So Detroit's playing Kansas City, and I was like, all right, Detroit needs to lose this one because they have Tampa at home, and Baker Mayfield's coming in there, and I need them to just absolutely throttle him. They are going to rip it up. Detroit coming off that's not who they were. That's not their game that they played and how poorly they played. And they lost that game this week. They're at home. It's Monday night. It's Detroit in that dome. They're going to be fired up, and Baker's going to have a meltdown, and I'm here for it. I'm going with Detroit.
Tampa's played Detroit in recent history, too, with Detroit being this good.
Yeah.
Tampa's played very well against Detroit. They even won a game in Detroit, I think, last year or before that. Yeah. But Tampa is due a bad loss now. Okay. They haven't got lucky, but they're due a bad loss. Yeah. Detroit come out that loss against Kansas City, and Tampa's banged up. They're down 4 receivers now. The O-line's still banged up. They'll do a bad loss. Detroit is forming the mouth after the loss against Kansas City. Give me Detroit in a blowout.
Yeah.
Yep. Big win for Detroit at home. And last but not least, Houston at Seattle. Seattle favored by 3.5.
Yeah, Seattle, believe it or not, is better on the road than they are at home. Houston's, again, one of those schizophrenic teams. This is going against all logic because normally I would just take Seattle at home. They're the better team. But Houston showed me something the last couple of weeks, and this is one of those games that just wouldn't surprise me if Houston went on the road and beat Seattle. I'm going to take Houston, and I got to check out, guys. So I appreciate it. It's fun being with you.
Good to see you, Pat.
Bye, Pat.
Yep. Have a good week, Pat. See
All
you.
right. So I'm taking Seattle, but real quick, there's 2 Monday night games, and I can't for the life of me think that for any other reason other than betting, that sports betting, that they have these 2 back-to-back on Mondays. Otherwise, you just run them at 1. But, like, I know with my Hard Rock Bet app, I get in on a 7 o'clock game, and as I'm getting smoked on that bet, I was like, all right, what's coming up at 10? So, yeah, this is an opportunity. You could get even for the week. Take Seattle.
I got a hot take for you guys.
All right.
Sam Darnold, top 12 correct league right now.
Yeah, that's pretty hot.
Pretty hot. You don't agree with it? You agree?
Raging
He's
fire.
in the MVP conversation right now.
Yeah, no.
We're working
Not
on
really.
a year
Not
and
really.
six game sample right now.
No.
It's been impressive.
We're trying to be a show
I understand.
of
I understand.
information.
Yeah, but I'm giving information. I'm getting takes also too. NFC West, by the way, too. Also, Seattle could run away with this thing now. The Rams are banged up. Niners are banged up. Arizona's stupid.
Oh.
Seattle's opportunity here to run with this thing now at this point. Houston won 2 games in a row, but who they beat? They beat Tennessee, who's the worst team in football, and then they banged up Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team. Now, they're off a bye. I get that. So is Houston back? I don't know. I still doubt it. Give me Seattle winning 3.5 points, too. What's the number?
3.5 points.
Yeah, come on. That's stealing money. Give me Seattle.
Yep, I'm going to take Seattle at home with a win here against
Nice.
Houston on Monday night. And I want to shout out to everybody in our chat room, including
Lighting
High
it
Hand
up, yeah.
Harry.
Hey, Harry.
John Bunner was in there.
Yeah, Bunner.
Yvette, B. Worcester, also Tony B. Tony Burns. So shout out to
What's up,
everybody
Tony?
checking in today. Right now, we're going to talk about some fantasy football. You got anything to talk about with fantasy football, Noah?
Yeah, so here's what everybody needs to know. So there was a game where I was when the Eagles lost on Thursday, that my opponent, he shot me a text saying, oh, you're a genius champion. You forgot to start Dallas Goedert. Well, little does he know, okay?
Okay.
Here's where we're at.
Here we go.
He's on the bench. My other guy's on a bye. I'm letting him believe he has this momentum, and he has a 26-point, like me making a 26-point mistake. I go to the scrap heap to flex my genius that I am. I pick a guy off the scrap heap, and then I continue on to pummel him. So there's a clear lesson here. In any game, do not count your chickens, John Bunner, before they hatch. Don't send that text. Don't send that message. Wait until that clock hits 000s and then maybe say something. And again, yes, I'm playing chess. You're playing checkers. I'm the genius champion. Yes, that's exactly what happened to you. You thought you had a chance, but I wanted that. I wanted you to feel that confidence, and I wanted to stomp you out.
I got to be honest with you. I don't. I mean, a 4-point win is not a pummeling, but
no, it's
also,
a mental punch.
You only scored 85 points.
Yeah.
But
that's all I needed. I knew exactly what I needed to beat him, and I didn't want to score 100. I wanted to come in just enough where he thought he had a chance, and it hurts that much.
Boy,
Yeah,
you got some.
That's what I do.
You got some mental issues.
It's advanced stuff.
But
Yeah.
no, congratulations. Look at the win that our boy Jacob had over Joey right there. 167 to 161.
That's wild.
You score 161 in any fantasy
And
league, you
lose.
should be winning that game.
Yeah.
To lose like that.
That's tough.
And Joey's good at fantasy too. I
Yeah.
mean, I could say I'm terrible. I lost to Sully.
Yeah.
You know, and
Sully's good at everything.
Sully
Sully's
does
maybe-
it.
Maybe get to play Bunner next week and get a win.
Sully's a great guy, but in fantasy, he's catching up though. Shout out to Sully and everybody playing in our fantasy football league. You guys have a start 'em, sit 'em this week.
I got it.
do.
Okay, go for it,
and
Noah.
I hate that I keep having to say this. Dak, start him. They have to score points in order to keep pace. You start him, even if you don't like him, and even if you're a big Eagles fan, and even if you wish ill things on him, go ahead and start him this one. And then, the New York Giants and Denver game, that's going to be 11 to 10 again or something weird like that. Sit everybody in that whole entire debacle.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Same
all
vibe.
of them.
Same
Them
vibe
all.
with me also too.
Yeah.
My start, I'm going to continue my pattern of
Okay.
picking any running back playing the Dolphins. Quinshon Judkins is the
Ooh.
starter for the
okay.
Browns. Start
I
him
have
this week.
him, I
I
think.
like it.
Start
yeah.
him this week.
Do I
That
have
Browns,
him?
that Dolphins defense is
I have him.
terrible.
Yeah.
And then sit Dart. because that Broncos defense is going to be all over them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the Eagles game with the Vikings, and I don't have Jordan Jefferson, but I have the other wide receiver, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison. I'm going to take him. I'm going to start him this week.
Yeah, because we have no number 2 cornerback. I might play corner this week.
Yeah,
like we don't
Noah
have one.
is playing corner on Jordan Addison this week. So I'm going to take Jordan Addison to score 1 million points.
In the first quarter. Now, when you say that, you got to use the Eagle thing.
My sit-em this week, the guy's full of talent, but they still know how to use him. Travis Hunter. Well, no, that's the MVP. Travis Hunter is who I'm talking about. I was actually able to sign him a free agent in one of my leagues. And, sometimes I just do this and say they're not going to perform, so then they will, and then I'm wrong because it happens a lot. But I'm going to sit Travis Hunter this week. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of college football.
Hell yeah.
Indiana made a historic rise to number 3
in the
latest AP poll. Big win over Oregon. That is the highest ranking in school history. Shout out to Indiana. How are we feeling about that, Noah?
No, I had it. You can't let up on the fact when these teams start winning. You can't ignore the fact that they're playing good football. And when you're getting points and all these points, you got to take them. I thought it was a quality win. It's again, you talk trap games or whatever, and the team's rolling. That was a big win for that. Now, can they win the Natty? No, they can't win the Natty, but it's a good win. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, what a year for Indiana sports too, if you just look at it that way.
Finals, pretty good. No, you should be shocked. I told you guys that last week that there's the 2-team race down for the Natties, Miami and Ohio State. I don't believe in Oregon for this reason. And you saw literally the same week after why Oregon does this every year. You start believing in them. Oh, they're gonna be a great team, and then you lose a game. Look, it's a competitive game, obviously, but Indiana, they should have beaten Indiana no matter what. So great story. Indiana is great. They don't play Ohio State probably till the conference championship game, so they should win out the rest of the season. So we'll see how that plays out going forward.
Yep. So the top 5 right now: Ohio State, Miami, then Indiana, Texas A&M at 4.
Wow.
So it's
Ole Miss at
really
5?
really okay.
I'm big on Ole Miss. I am big on Ole Miss.
They are definitely the sleeping dog there, man. But I still think that
they lose Dart and they're playing like this is wild.
I just think the two best teams that separate themselves are, as just mentioned, now. So
what a year in college football.
It's been a fantastic year.
Now let's talk about that new offer from Hard Rock Bet.
What do you got?
It's a cool offer. I know somebody that just signed up, and I was like, hey, did you lose your first bet? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, oh, well, you didn't get the offer because you bonus bet if you win your first bet. So listen to the show. Of course, we're going to tell you all of our picks, but bet $5 to get $150. If you make a deposit of at least $10, place a cash wager of $5 or more. If your first bet wins, you're going to receive $150 in bonus bets, and that's credited as 6 separate $25 bonus bets that expire 7 days after they are issued. For more information, you can always go to our website, pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet, and that's offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Got to be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Is it bad if, like, on Sundays and Saturdays, I open that app, like, all day long, like putting in my $2 or $3 bets and stuff? I love it. Cooking up parlays and stuff. It's the absolute best.
No, one of the things I want to talk about before we get into baseball, I want to talk about your bet. Your bet is gone. Okay,
so it was gone. We had a good run, and
it was amazing.
I get clarity, and I have these visions of the teams that are going to win, and I'm going to end up going 4 for 5 when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and then the Yankees will be the only one. And I saw on Hard Rock Bets, actually, the round robin bets. Have you seen this yet? Where you can round robin them. I just discovered that. So I'll fix this situation moving forward. I lost this one, but I'll start round robining where even if I lose one, I can still win the other 4 legs. I thought that's cool. So if you haven't seen that yet, look at that thing.
That's a good way to do
round
it.
robin they call it, where it's almost like a try box.
I haven't used it yet, though.
And I had to Google it and stuff to try to figure it out. Super cool. So when you want to cook one of these things up, don't be like me. But I am learning still, and I did lose that bet, and the Yankees were my weak.
Those are
pick.
good for like parlays that are like 5 or more. Like big parlays.
The ones like
huge
you
parlays.
lose,
Like
yeah.
the one I just lost for $12,000. Yeah, because
Right.
I'd still be in there
Right.
with one more leg to go for like
But even
$8,000.
even Philly's a little bit of a sweat now.
Yeah, I'm a loser.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, shout out to Noah, because whether we were
tried.
rooting for the bet or not,
Yeah.
which I don't know, I can't admit whether
No.
I was rooting against it or
Right.
for it, but it was a lot of fun. And
I'm going to cook another one up for everybody. Just stay tuned. I'll cook the hockey, basketball, NCAA. I'll give you all those.
Oh, we've been
winners for
talking
free.
about
It's
this
free on
feels
the
like
show.
for 6 months, so it's been a lot of fun to talk about it. So shout out to you. Now going into MLB playoffs,
Okay.
the American League Championship Series, Seattle Mariners,
Marinera.
the Mariners.
Mariner.
The Mariners are
Marijuana.
up on the Blue Jays 2-0 after winning games 1 and 2 in Toronto. They're just 2 away from the World Series, the first appearance for them since 2001. Game 3 is tonight. And then in the National League Championship Series, the Dodgers are up 2-0 on the Brew Crew after winning the first 2 in Milwaukee. Yamamoto pitched a complete game shutout in Game 2. And Game 3 is scheduled for tomorrow. I mean, I would be excited to see Seattle and the Dodgers in the World Series. What about
That
you guys?
sounds absolutely terrible.
Doesn't it?
Like,
Sounds great,
It sounds absolutely god-awful. Like, okay, so now you have 2 West Coast teams. Literally, get them furthest away from where we currently reside, right here. No, like, do they start them at regular times? Like, they start at 8 o'clock at night. It's like 5 p.m. over there. Last time they did that, it was San Fran and somebody, and there was an earthquake. And we didn't get
1989.
like last time that it was the
Mark
Giants.
McGuire, Jose Canseco. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, and it was so long ago. It's hard to get excited.
But that was
it's not the Braves.
that
It's
was
not the
actually a
Mets. It's not the Yankees.
right.
It's not the Boston Red Sox. It's like not all these teams that even Chicago, like a little interest. I don't know.
So you're what? So you're a baseball.
Enjoy
wait. No, you're a baseball elitist now. You want all the top teams.
No,
not
have
all?
fun.
Stop
Have
that,
fun,
dude.
LA.
We want parity
All
in
you
sports,
people with your
bro.
blue hats in
I
LA
want
have fun.
I want
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
It's good. By the way, that World Series though, that was inner city. That was the A's against
That was
the
pretty awesome.
Giants.
I know. That's
Yeah.
why
I was
said
watching that night.
I remember that.
Now we're going to move on and talk about our favorite portion of the show, and that is called Quick
They
Picks.
said to really make this quick this time.
Yeah, this time
Okay,
it's
here we
going to be
go. Rapid,
extremely
go.
quick.
No extra words. Go.
Now we're going to go Thursday
Go.
night game. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
favored by 5.5.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers win.
Big win for the
we
Steelers.
go.
Sunday morning game. Rams at Jacksonville. Rams favored by 2.5.
Duval.
How do you say that, Jaguars?
Duval.
No, Jaguars.
The Jaguars.
Too many words, Ernest.
In London, I think Jacksonville wins that game. New Orleans at Chicago. Chicago favored by 5.
New Orleans.
Saints are frisky, but give me the Bears.
Too many words.
I'm taking the Bears. Miami at Cleveland. Cleveland favored by 3.
Cleveland.
Cleveland McDonald's done on Monday.
Yep, it might be the end of those pants. Cleveland wins this one. New England at Tennessee. New England favored by 7.
New England.
New England.
New England big.
10 points, though. Yeah.
Las Vegas at Kansas City. Kansas City favored by 11.5.
Blake and the Chiefs.
Chiefs are back.
Shout out to Blake, but I'm taking the Raiders. I don't think the Chiefs going to cover here. Now Philadelphia at Minnesota. Philly favored by 1.5.
Go Birds.
No way the Eagles lose 3 in a row. Give me the Eagles.
Yep, give me the Eagles. Now Carolina at the Jets. Carolina favored by 1.5.
Carolina.
Got the Jets on the board finally for the first win of the year. Give me Jets.
They're going to win a game, not this one. Carolina. Now the Giants at Denver. Denver favored by 7.
It's tough to breathe up there, Denver.
Denver wins Giants on the points.
Yeah, Denver big. Indianapolis at the Chargers. Chargers favored by 2.
Last time I'm picking the Chargers if they lose.
I'm a believer in the Colts, man. Give me the Colts.
Give me Indiana Jones and the Colts. Now Washington at Dallas. Washington favored by 1.5.
I pick a tie.
Dallas wins.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys. Green Bay at Arizona. Green Bay favored by 6.5.
I'm going Green Bay.
Cardinals on the points. Packers win.
I'm taking a big win for the Packers. Atlanta at San Francisco in the Sunday night game. San Fran favored by 2.
This is my upset, Atlanta.
Give me Kyle Shanahan.
I'm taking the 49ers at home. Monday night's 2 games. Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit favored by 5.
Not Baker Mayfield.
Bucks do a loss. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, I'm actually taking the Lions too. And now the last game of the week, Houston at Seattle. Seattle favored by 3.5.
Flip a coin, Seattle.
Sam Darnold, top 12 corner in the league. Give me the Seahawks.
Seattle, and that is the fastest quick picks
That
we've
is a
ever
record.
done.
Blazing.
Was it more than 3 minutes? I doubt it.
Not now. It's not.
My
quick
fault.
down.
My fault.
Here we go.
Okay, quick picks. That's when that was it. Oh, man. We flew through that, and now we're going to move on to our next subject,
Okay.
and that is about everything going on with sports betting. And
So
what are we
much.
going to do this week, guys?
All right. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs are on a roll. I'm picking. That's my bet of the week. Cook up a parlay. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Take the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Take the other quarterback to throw an interception and put Patty Mahomes with Rice coming back up for like whatever the over under is. Take the over. That's a 3, and it should make you a little bit of profit.
Nice.
Me too. I like it. That's what
I'll keep it simple. I'm going to do a same game parlay here. Give me the Bengals +5.
Okay.
Steelers to win.
Okay.
And the under for 3.5.
And you're really going to put 100 on that? Like you have it in the app right now.
$100, $850. Yep.
If you had money in your account, I would hit bet right now. Honestly,
I might do it.
I don't think so.
Do you even have a hundo?
Oh, I'll talk to you later about that.
Okay, my bet of the week. I'm taking. I always like to do a Thursday night game to get my loss over quickly. Steelers win. Jalen Warren an anytime touchdown. A-Rod is throwing over 218.5 yards. Jamar Chase catches for over 70.5. Chase Brown over 45.5.
You're juicing this thing,
and
brother.
that is plus 1,300.
Wow!
You bet $25,
You're
you win $350.
Cooking it up, Mike.
Yeah, none of those are coming in.
Because you know why, right? Because you bet it.
Yeah, for sure. But whatever you're betting this week, do it with us. That's our marketing partners with Hard Rock Bet. And you can find out more information, pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet. And it's great, that offer. $5 get $150. If your bet wins, pick that, and you're going to win, and you're going to love it. And now let's talk about everything going on here at PBKC. We had a very successful card show on Sunday. We had some real heat. Some of those guys had some things.
So I saw an individual transaction of $12,000.
Wow.
And then
Really?
total sales for one was $120-something thousand. This guy had every card.
He did.
Lamar Jackson won a twos and
Caitlin
all this
Clark
stuff.
signed
everything.
cards.
He had it all.
KD
Shout out to him.
rookies.
He's one of our regular customers in the poker room. Shout out to him.
Man.
He'll be at the next show. When, Mike? December?
December 14th.
Come to that thing and see what this guy has. Heat.
Yeah, he brought the heat to the show. I saw some cards I'd never actually seen in person, some Aaron Judge cards,
Oh, wow.
a lot of signed stuff.
I saw a Jim Brown, perfect graded Jim Brown
Really?
card.
Jim
rookie
Brown?
card. It was
Wow,
awesome.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Now let's talk about October high hands that are going on right now. We got high hands every 15 minutes, $15,000 cash giveaway on November 1st, and then the progressive high hand weekends with a $100,000 giveaway.
Awesome.
We also have a $10 poker party that's coming up on October the 24th. So that's coming up not this Friday, but next Friday. That is going to be a lot of fun. If you've never played in a $10 poker party or never played in a tournament, that's the time to do it. And the Paddock shows, including one this Friday night. I can't wait for Rat Pack now. Those guys are absolutely phenomenal. That's Justin Fields. Yeah, he actually plays Sammy Davis Jr. in that. So buy tickets, come out and see Justin Fields. As he does like great renditions of all these Sammy Davis Jr. songs.
Like
That's not what he sang.
Like Bryan Cranston there.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston, and the other guy is Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great show. I can't wait for Friday night. Then Beer for My Horses, the Toby Keith tribute show is November 8th, and that's a barbecue dinner and show, which is something that's cool.
I like that.
Yeah, now we're
thing,
talking.
Right?
And then Start Me Up dinner and show.
No.
November 14th. I don't think that we're going to have any shows for Noah this year. But November 14th is Start Me Up. That's the dinner and show coming up. But, whatever music you're into,
John
we
Summit?
got it.
We need more.
Summit?
More of that. Do we have any, what is that
Tiesto?
called?
Can we get
EDM?
Yeah,
Tiesto
Tiesto,
here?
yeah.
Timmy
Calvin
Trumpet will be
Harris,
here.
come on now.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm a fan.
Oh, Noah. Now, what are our final thoughts for the week? What are we looking forward to?
I'm looking to get back on track. As you know, the Eagles haven't lost 2 games in a row in a long time. I haven't lost bets and parlays. I got a little bit pummeled. The only thing that saved me was laying it down to Bunner and getting him straightened out. But I'm looking to get right. So I'm gonna put in the work. I'm gonna put in the effort. I'm not gonna try to get funny and bench guys to try to poke the bear or anything. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna put the work in, and I'm gonna get my fantasy football right. I'm gonna get my picks right.
Okay.
And the Eagles are gonna get right. I'm gonna find the right jersey and the right hat to wear on Sunday.
Scatterboo.
We're gonna get. Go ahead, Ernest.
Well,
This
week
show's
five
BS.
week 5 was wacky in the NFL. Week 6 was almost as wacky as week 5. I think week 7 will have something more of the same.
Okay.
I think it's going to be another nutty week 7 because the season's been off the rails right now.
Okay, well, we can't wait for nutty Week 7 coming up. Schizophrenic Week 7 of the NFL, and we're going to see you next Wednesday morning right here on PBKC Picks at Palm Beach Kennel Club. Have a great week, everybody.
See you guys.
Scataboo.
So terrible. Hate you guys.
PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTB, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus 1 draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.